Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to. And that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
All right, it is the Raw recap. Sean Stanley here with you. It is Squared Circle Digest coming to you live from the OK Coin Studios here in beautiful Miami Gardens, Florida. Raw tonight. It's pretty damn good, actually. I mean, it wasn't fantastic. It wasn't the greatest Raw of all time. But leading into WrestleMania, there was a couple things I'd have to leave off the menu that I probably wouldn't have. Hey, Sean, didn't see the whole show, but what I saw, didn't think it was that bad. No, definitely. I agree with you, Steve. Like I said, I think they built up pretty well for WrestleMania. WrestleMania this weekend starts basically Friday with SmackDown. They even did tonight was called WrestleMania Raw, so they started it, I guess, a little bit tonight, but they will be actually in Texas starting Friday for SmackDown. They'll do the 2 hours there. Then they have the Hall of Fame on the Peacock, on the WWE Network on Peacock. Then you've got Saturday, Stand and Deliver at noon. That is the NXT pay-per-view. And then WrestleMania kicks off Saturday night. First night, Sunday night, the second night. And I thought Raw did a great job of gearing up a lot of the matches they had. Some of the stuff I thought went maybe a little overboard for me. For instance, let's take a look at the Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair. I like that they're making it personal. I understand that portion of it. I understand what Bianca's hair means to her, the big ponytail and all that. Not sure why Becky's hair needed to be cut. This is just a one-on-one title match. Not sure where I understand the heel trying to get the heat and cut, but is it Bianca just went Will Smith and cut the hair of Becky Lynch now? Where are we at? I like that, the highlight of the whole show for me. Look, for entertainment purposes, it was great. I just thought now it has added something to that match that I don't know if it needed that element. I mean, you've got Bianca. Remember, Becky came back and beat Bianca in less than 2 minutes, if it was even that. No, prime time. It's not the Big Sean show. No. Prime time 007. Love it. That there is a freaking name right there. Wish I could be prime time. But like I said, I don't know. I think it might have added, again, wrestling fans have this thing to where when things like that happen, they elevate their expectations on a match. And why I think this is going to be a hell of a match. I don't know that you're going to be able to elevate it enough to where, you're talking about cutting hair. You're talking about, those are big time feuds. That's not just a regular match. So unless something gets added at SmackDown, I feel like they're kind of setting that match up to kind of take a hit. In-ring wise, no. The in-ring, I know Bianca and I know Becky can go. But I thought it might have elevated some maybe expectations on the match. I don't know that you needed that. I don't know that you needed that. I thought Brock and Roman, they did everything they needed to do. Same with AJ and Edge. Their promos spot on, everything they needed to do just to keep that going and not touching each other, getting hands on each other. Again, Brock said it in his promo. No more running. There's gonna be nowhere to hide come WrestleMania Sunday. There's nowhere else you can hide, Roman. So again, it's real now. You know what I'm saying? Like the way Brock Lesnar put the promo, and again, Brock's not the best talker, but I think the way they are letting him be himself now, he's more relatable. He's becoming that relatable figure. Yeah, yes, he's larger than life. Yes, nobody's gonna, when you stand next to him, he's what 6'7", 6'8", whatever he is. But at least now you're seeing, you can relate to him. You can see his personality a little bit more. Like you said, I had Paul Heyman with me the first 20 years talking for me, and then he does the whole thing now with the Lesnar and everything there. So I love the fact that they're letting him get more relatable there. Seth Rollins, look, WWE. Here's the one thing that I don't like what WWE does. They released this vignette, this clip of Seth Rollins going to Vince McMahon's office this afternoon at about 3:30, 4 o'clock. If you're going to release it, why do I need to watch it again less than 4 hours later so you can fill time? And to me, it just does not make sense. Some of the things they do. You see the same vignettes over and over and over again. And you're going to see it. They got is it an hour or a 2 hour pregame or pre-show before WrestleMania this year? One year they went 2 hours. Hopefully it's only 1 hour because I can only watch so many vignettes. But ultimately, Vince McMahon does say he will choose Seth Rollins' opponent, and he will let him know WrestleMania Sunday. He will know who the opponent is when the name is announced at WrestleMania. And if you looked at the picture, you can kind of see it really looked like Cody's outline. Now, whether they did that on purpose, we'll see. But I think ultimately it's going to be Cody Rhodes. Is to answer your question there, Steve. I think it's going to be Cody Rhodes there. It's going to be interesting to see, though. Vince has now kind of put himself in the McAfee Austin Theory match. And now he's kind of put himself in the Seth Rollins match. I'm not sure. Are they going to try to make maybe a little click with McMahon for Cody Rhodes, Austin Theory, some more? Maybe McMahon, makes a little faction of his own of the guys that maybe he wants to keep, to himself, or the guys that he thinks, are the creme a la creme of WWE. Austin Theory is his handpicked guy. Cody Rhodes now is going to be the handpicked opponent for Seth Rollins. Let's see where that goes. And then, I thought about it today because I was watching the main event, and it was Randy Orton. I would love to see Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton go. So what if Cody makes the debut and you know what? I got to double check and see when the Raw tag team titles are. I think they're getting defended Sunday. I believe they're Sunday. If they're Sunday, could Cody cost Randy and then they start a feud there? Because I'd love to see Randy and Cody go in a feud against each other. Omos will take on Bobby Lashley now. Bobby Lashley answered the challenge. Another thing I don't like that WWE does, Viking Raiders, no reason to be in a 2-on-1 handicap with Omos. No reason whatsoever. What are you doing to the Viking Raiders? Who the hell did they piss off? At this point, just cut them. If you ain't got nothing else better for them to do, you can hire two guys off the street to go in there and take a clothesline and get kicked in the face. That's all those two guys did in that match. And you destroyed a tag team that had a little bit of momentum going. I get it. You're trying to push Omos to the moon, but come on. You didn't have to do that to the Viking Raiders. Not a lot of no imagination. The whole thing with Omos is just put anybody in there to make them look bad and him look good. The 24/7 title, that was next on the show. Look, I love Dana Brooke. I love Tamina. I love everything they're doing. I love the entertainment value that they're kind of doing with the Kira Tozawa and the Reggie proposes, so he proposes to Tamina and this and that. I love the fact that R-Truth kind of showed back up and was like, I got an idea. I think he's going to end up being probably the preacher, and maybe they'll do something at WrestleMania where I guess maybe they'll do the ceremonies. And, of course, no ceremony in pro wrestling goes all the way to the finish. And maybe R-Truth will leave WrestleMania with the 24/7 title. We shall see. Roman Reigns came out. He did that promo. One interesting thing I thought was that he was wearing the red of Raw, even though he's from SmackDown. I thought interesting that he's wearing the red, and the whole bloodline came out in red tonight. I get it. They're on Raw, but being a SmackDown faction, I thought maybe they'd come out in the blue and represent there. Found that interesting. They wasted some time with the Raw Women's Tag Team titles. At this point, just get rid of them. Just get rid of the belts, man. Just get rid of every mid title, because that'll even go for the Ricochet match. Ricochet took on Austin Theory in another mid title, Intercontinental title, U.S. title, tag team titles. If you're the champion and you're defending in a title contenders match, I can tell you right now what's going to happen on Raw or SmackDown. That title is going to get beat. The champion's going to get beat. That title's going to be nothing. That title's as good as this damn paperweight on my desk. That's what these titles mean right now in WWE. And it's starting to get a little bit, pathetic in a way. The way they just, I get it. They're titles. I get all that stuff, but they are really making them mean absolutely nothing. I mean, what does it matter if you lose a contenders match? So then what? They get a title match the next week, and then all of a sudden you're able to beat them. It's lazy. It's lazy booking. You need to start building some of your damn champions other than your heavyweight champions. Build them a little bit stronger. But it's almost like, hey, you're going to get stuck carrying the title now around all these towns, okay? So we're going to put the title on you because you're going to lose all your contenders matches. And then when you finally get a chance to defend the title, we'll figure out then if we're going to keep the title on you. But you carry it around in your bag and stuff from town to town, and it's almost like who's going to get stuck with the belt now? It's starting to get a little bit upsetting for me, because I like when titles mean something. I like when Ricochet is defending the Intercontinental title. The lineage of the Intercontinental title means something. It's very lazy booking. And like I said, pretty damn upsetting to me. KO cut the promo on Stone Cold. Again, KO did all the legwork on this, because all Stone Cold's got to do is show up. He'll probably do a stunner, drink a beer, pour a beer out, and give a hell yeah, shoot some middle fingers in the air. And KO said they're going to main event Saturday night. So I'm guessing they're going to close the show. So I'm guessing probably Charlotte Ronda will open the show. If that's still on Saturday, they're still moving stuff around. So I don't even know where that's going to go. So I'm going to wait till the SmackDown recap to actually go over the card. And then, of course, we will have a pre-game, or I guess pre-game, might as well call it pre-game, for WrestleMania. Try to get some special guests on as well, and we'll get some predictions and some stuff talking WrestleMania leading up into it. There will be no post-game recap we'll do probably the recap of night 1 during the pregame of night 2, but won't do anything afterwards, because they're probably going to be getting done about 11:30, 12 o'clock there. Let's see. I think he's doing a pretty good job on it otherwise too. Yes. Scoring when he came down, but he's actually pretty entertaining. Who are you referring to? Trying to figure out, Steve, who are you referring to? KO? Is that who you're referring to on that one? I'm sorry. I got yours. Got your questions a little bit after I was done talking. See where I was at here. Sorry. Oh, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens. Yeah, no. I don't know that it's necessarily a stupid angle. I think the issue is, again, Stone Cold's being brought in for one performance on night 1 of WrestleMania. That's all he's being paid for. So ultimately, you're going to have to do the legwork. And I think Kevin Owens has done a pretty damn good job, of doing the legwork to keep this going. Again, they did the vignette with Austin at his ranch and things like that. But for the other part, it's pretty much Kevin Owens. It almost reminds me of when The Undertaker and John Cena that one year when John Cena was going to fight The Undertaker, and they had it built up because they weren't sure 100% if The Undertaker was going to be healthy enough to do that match. So they played it off as Cena in the crowd. And I mean, they knew before they actually got to that point. But for the most part, Cena built up that whole program on his own. And then Undertaker performed and showed up at WrestleMania, which is exactly what is happening here with KO and Stone Cold. Drew McIntyre 2-on-1 match again. The 2 handicap matches on this card, and it was against Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss, who he's fighting Happy Corbin at WrestleMania. I wish they would have just done it with Jinder Mahal and Shanky. Just put them in there and then have, if you wanted to do the whole thing where Happy jumps him at the end and takes the sword, you could do that after he beat them. I just don't know that you have to keep putting Happy and Corbin in matches against Drew McIntyre when you're going to sit here and watch in less than 6 days the same 2 damn guys go at each other. I was happy that all he did was kind of lock up, and then Corbin cowered out and stayed out and let pretty much Madcap get his ass whooped for that match there. So at least I didn't have to see. And again, they take the sword. I mean, it's becoming a weekly thing. The sword of Drew McIntyre has been taken again. As I said, Edge and AJ, great promos building up for their match. I am very interested in that match. There's a lot of matches on WrestleMania wrestling wise that can steal the show. I mean, Charlotte Ronda, I think is going to be a good one. Bianca, Becky, you got AJ, Edge. Very curious. The the Theory McAfee match. I think that might be a sleeper. That might be a sleeper on this card because McAfee can go. He's athletic and he can go. I mean, I've watched him on the NXTs with Adam Cole, and he could definitely, carry his own. The main event tonight was the RK Bro taking on the Usos, which was a pretty good main event. I knew what was going to happen at the end. Of course, the Street Profits came out and attacked RK Bro. Then Shinsuke and Boogs jumped in and took out the Usos, and then they both they battled to the back and left RK Bro and Street Profits, the 2 Raw teams, to finish off Raw. RK Bro hitting the RKOs and taking down their opponents. That will be their opponents at WrestleMania. Steve says, I'm hoping to see one more assault from Charlotte on Ronda Friday before WrestleMania. I know you're sick of it, but I can't get enough of it. Look, man, teach their own, man. I mean, look, I hope you get it for you. Okay, I'm not looking forward to that, but I hope you get it just for the fact that you want it. It's going to be very interesting to see how they handle unless they record the Hall of Fame beforehand, which maybe they will. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle the ending of SmackDown translating over to the Hall of Fame on Peacock. I don't know if they're going to do that, if they're doing the Hall of Fame live. Also, The Undertaker is being inducted, and now the Steiner brothers were announced today. So that should get pretty interesting with Scott Steiner. Will he get a live microphone? And interesting because Braun Breaker as well. Rick Steiner's son is Braun Breaker, and now he's going to be there. He kind of reminds me more of Scott in the ring. He's got the build of Rick, but he kind of the personality of Scott. So he's kind of got both the best personalities of both of the Steiners. So I'm sure he'll probably be the one doing the inducting of Rick and Scott, the Steiner brothers there. And then, of course, Shad Gaspard will get the Ultimate Warrior recognition as well, and rightfully deserved. It's going to be a good weekend of wrestling. And that doesn't even go in for all of the shows that are happening around the area. You have to remember, April 1st, that Friday, Ring of Honor returns. The Super Card of Honor under Tony Khan, AEW. They're going to have a lot of their guys there. FTR taking on the Briscoes. So, and then during WrestleMania weekend, if you're there, a lot of shows go into that area, the Texas area, Dallas, Texas area, and put on shows all around. There's a lot of conventions happening. A lot of things happen during WrestleMania weekend. I remember when they were here, and I was lucky enough to get to go to some of the access events. They had a Legends dinner, a Legends card. It was like, Tatanka taking on, I forgot who, a couple of guys. It was just some of the guys that you had seen, and they put on a show for about 175 people that paid for the VIP passes there, and that stuff there. So this is a great weekend for wrestling, not just WWE. I mean, it is their Super Bowl. WrestleMania is the thing, but also now everybody kind of goes to Dallas, and you're going to get, Super Card of Honor, as I said there. See if I can look at I know I used to have the whole weekend of shows. Let me see if I can so you can get, let's see here, weekend of shows at WrestleMania. I don't want just the WWE ones, though. Tony Khan says AEW would never hold a match on WrestleMania weekend, but of course Ring of Honor will now. So that will be there. Trying to see, they've added a few matches onto it. There is going to be some AEW talent on the Ring of Honor card, so that could get interesting there with what they do. The other interesting thing is WWE. I know Big O talked about today with Fanatics. They're doing a Superstore Access, and at that Superstore Access, they're going to have the Bella Twins, The Undertaker, Goldberg, and Shawn Michaels signing autographs there. So again, and it's supposed to be the largest basically setup of WWE merchandise anywhere. Let's see, here we go. Here's some of the WrestleMania weekend. Let's see what we got here. You got Glory. Let's see what we got here. Thursday, it starts 11 a.m. Glory Pro Wrestling will get started in the Fair Park at Dallas, Texas. Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 8. That will be 3 p.m. on Thursday. I believe all this is still Thursday. Some of the people on that card are going to be Jon Moxley, Minoru Suzuki, Josh Barnett himself, Jonah, John Hennigan, Timothy Thatcher is going to be on there, Marina Shafir. So those are going to be on Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. Myron Reed, Jake Something, Warhorse, Josh Alexander. They are going to be on the Watch Live. So there's going to be a bunch of shows going on. AAA is running a show. Also, they're going to have their cars there. Insane Hardcore Wrestling, Extreme Combat. They're going to do a show at 5 p.m. Iconic Heroes Wrestling, Old School Hustle. They're going to have a show there. Trying to see who's on that card. Tim Storm's going to be on that one. I'm trying to look at some of the names you may know. There's a bunch of, this is a chance for a bunch of the younger guys to shine also. MLW, they're going to be at Gillies in Dallas, Texas. You'll have the Von Erichs there. Alexander Hammerstone versus Richard Holiday. Tankman's going to be there. Also scheduled, let's see, looks like Jacob Fatu will be there. Matt Cross. Looks like they got pretty much their whole roster. MLW is going to be there. Ross and Marshall Von Erich, Matt Cross, Alex Kane, Slice Boogie, Conan will be there as well. Madge Kruger, and Casey Navarro, Gino Medina. So a lot of the MLW town will be there. ROW, which is, I believe, Booker T's Federation. They're going to do a show in Irving, Texas. That's going to be Rob Van Dam, Booker T, and Ryan Davidson is headlining that, taking on Max Castellanos, Charlie Haas, and Clayton Bloodstone. Control Your Narrative. That is Adam Shearer, which is Braun Strowman and EC3. Braun Strowman is now going under Titan. So it'll be Titan and EC3 versus Eric Redbeard and Damo. Austin Aries against Weston Blake. Flip Gordon versus Dirty Dango. And Killer Cross versus Vincent. Joey Janela Spring Break. John Moxley will be there. Joey Janela against X-Pac. The Briscoes will be there. Blake Christian. Mickey James will be there as well. I mean, this is all, Thursday and Friday right now. I'm still talking about right here. There's going to be a super show, which will be on Fight Fest, part of the Fight Fest bundle. And so you have Biff Busick versus Minoru Suzuki, Mark and Jay Briscoe versus Homicide and Low-Key, Bandito versus Mike Bailey, Tomohiro Ishii versus Timothy Thatcher, Mia Yim versus Athena, which it's going to be a great match. Ace Austin, Black Taurus, John Gresham versus Michael Oku, Ray Horace, and Laredo Kid. Also, the Rock and Roll Express are scheduled to appear there. Let's see here. I appreciate that, Steve. Thank you, my man. Dark Arts Entertainment, they're going to be doing GCW is going to be there as well. So you'll have Game Changer Wrestling there. Trying to see who they don't have anybody there that I can see right off the top that I've watched. Once again, Becky Lynch proves why she's the best in the business. I thought it was very well done. I didn't agree with how far they took it. I didn't think that her hair needed to be cut, but man, if Becky didn't look real pissed off at the end of that thing, I agree. She's definitely one of the best in the business. But I thought they did take it a little bit too far. I can understand why the heel Becky would want to cut Bianca Belair, but I don't understand the whole rage of Bianca cutting Becky's hair and where it's going to lead to for the match. Because, us as wrestling fans now, you start seeing hair get cut. Is it going to be hair versus hair? Is it going to be whatever? This is still just booked as a regular title match, which means if, it gets escalated too far, you're going to probably end up seeing a disqualification or something like that. And maybe that's ultimately what is maybe happened here. And then she'll keep chasing the title a little bit further, but I hope not, because WrestleMania is usually where they can kind of reset from here, look at what they got, and start making some new feuds and moving some guys around and everything there. So we'll see where they go with it. I just thought maybe they might have went a little bit too far with the whole hair cutting, but Becky definitely kicked ass in that segment, 100%. So overall, I mean, again, there's about 37 shows in 2 days in the Dallas, Texas area. So if you're there for WrestleMania and you want to see some other action, I guarantee you can probably just go to the nearest ballroom, hotel, sports bar, or whatever, and there's probably a show somewhere in that area. So I remember when they were here, I mean, you basically were going from one, especially at Miami Beach Convention Center, a lot of them had rented out different areas inside there. You're just going from one to the other. And they had at the Airport Marriott had some shows there as well. And a lot of the conferences, man. WrestleMania weekend is just awesome, man. You start seeing all the legends come back. You get, the Hall of Fame. Now it's 2 nights. Again, it used to be one night, used to be a long night. I remember we got there. They opened the gates at 5, and I think I got home at about 2. Again, the show ended about 12, but by the time you get out of traffic over at what's Hard Rock Stadium now, it was a long day, and I can only imagine doing it 2 nights in a row, and then you throwing in. Back then they didn't have the NXT either. It was kind of more. They did the fan access events, which were set up for 4-hour increments, which they still are. So make sure if you're doing the access, you check to see what times your favorite wrestler are signing, because a lot of people used to buy them things blind, and you were just stuck with whoever they put in there and you never got the good ones. Never, ever, ever, ever. Tomorrow night, there will be no recap of NXT. I'm going to postpone that one till Wednesday. Wednesday, we'll go over Tuesday and Wednesday night on the AEW. I got some things I need to take care of, so I will not be able to be on tomorrow night, but I will be back on Wednesday. I appreciate everybody every night that tunes in and wants to talk some wrestling. Again, you can hit me up on my Twitter or my Instagram at Sean_Stanley11. You can always talk wrestling there. You can hit me in the DMs whatever you want to talk about and discuss. Also, you can hit it at Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com. Just put on Squared Circle Digest or Wrestling Question, and we can go from there. Watching some of these Evil, if you get a chance, go to Peacock and check out the new series Evil. They got the Roman Reigns one now, just came on after Raw. But again, appreciate y'all. Steve, Mike, everybody in the chat, Prime Time, everybody just listening and that did not interact. As always, you are appreciated. And don't forget, tomorrow morning, Big O Show starts at 10 o'clock. We got a lot of great guests scheduled tomorrow, so make sure you tune in then. Until then, from the Sunshine State, in the words of the great Gordon Soley, from the Sunshine State, so long.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them.
With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation.
Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.